Replacing the power switch block and motherboard. Today, on Pellet Tech Talk. Using the techniques in part 2 of this video series, you should have identified which component needs replacing. It is now time to replace the component. If you have identified that the main power switch block is bad and needs to be replaced, follow these steps. 1. Ensure that the power cord is disconnected from the back of the stove. 2. Pull all 3 lead wires off of the inner portion of the power block, noting their locations. 3. Push in the 4 plastic tabs that secure the switch block into the rear dust guard cage. There will be 2 tabs on the left and 2 on the right. Once those are released, the entire block will push out of the cage towards the back of the stove. 4. Slide the new switch block into the opening at the back of the stove, pushing firmly into place until the tabs hold securely. 5. Now connect your power lead wires to the inner part of the switch block, ensuring that the striped ground wire is connected to the bottom post, and the hot and common wires are connected to the top posts. 6. Reconnect the power cable into the plug opening of the switch block. If the plug has troubles pushing into the plug housing, it usually indicates that the side tabs are bent inward, and the switch block may need to be pushed into the rear cage some more. Special note for the chimney insert model. There is also a side switch that you may be replacing. This switch simply pushes out of the housing. You may need to use a small, flathead screwdriver to help pry it out. If you have identified that the circuit board is bad, or if you are just upgrading the electronics, follow these steps. 1. Ensure that the power is disconnected from the stove. 2. Unscrew the anchor bolts that hold the L bracket to the bottom of the stove chassis, as well as to the back of the black box. 3. Lay the circuit board down on its back, and place the new board next to it. 4. Remove the 4 Phillips screws, and take off the cover lid on both boards. 5. One by one, move the connection wires from the old board to the new board, noting their location, so as to not mix up where they go. Start with the main power harness connection. Then move on to the data cable. Finally, move the sensor switch wires one by one, following the colored ports on the board. The top yellow port will connect to the overheat sensor. The white port below the yellow connects to the room temperature sensor. The red port connects to the proof of fire sensor at the exhaust housing. The black port, labeled vacuum, will connect to the vacuum pressure switch. The blue port, labeled limit, will connect to the hopper lid switch. The white port below the limit, labeled level, will connect to a remote thermostat, if applicable. Once all of these wires have been moved over and connected to the new board, one by one, you can now reattach the cover lid, and remount the bracket to the back of the black box and the bottom of the stove. And that's it. You're all set. Thanks for watching. Until next time, on Pellet Tech Talk.